As we progress on from our sketch designs that you have completed, we would need to start developing a final presentation that helps you create and communicate information to now these styles of gardens that you're seeing here in some of the world's famous Chelsea Flower Show, to be able to be made and constructed based on how you want that information put across. So with these plans here, you can see the level of detail. You can look into these spaces and you can actually perceive how that space would feel, look, and could be interpreted. And you'd also expect to see the types of graphics demonstrating what it is that you want there to be. So it could be, it's a paving surface, it could be a timber structure. So we need to ensure that when you're transferring those sketch designs, you're communicating the maximum amount of detail that enables the persons that are going to build it and put it into position can do so effectively. So the first thing we would need to do is to set up your sketch design onto your board and then overlay with a tracing paper. This is the point where you will now in pencil detail all of the areas. So you're going to, for example, this one here is set at a 45-degree angle, and I'm demonstrating here how I'm drawing in all the information of the existing plan onto pencil. And the idea is when you do this, you can remove the sketch plan afterwards once you've got the outline of everything there, and then start adding in the exact amount of information and detail that we want. The idea here is that the pencil copy is purely the slave part of the drawing. We'll then overlay another tracing later on top of this drawing and do all the ink work starting from the highest things, for example the tree at the top left, the building, then we'll go down to all the plants, and we'll also move down to the finer details. So if you had a plant overhanging a border, it would overhang like the tree is on the left, and it will dominate over the graphics. So you won't actually see all the brickwork, for example, around that lawn. You would only see parts of that. You will see the tree dominantly over everything else. And we'll use things called a line hierarchy. So the thicker pens that you have, the 0.5s, the 0.7s that you may have, we'll use to create the actual trees, pergolas, buildings, everything like that. And then we'll use finer and finer pens as we go down to things like the decking, the lawn detail, and other information. So here we fade out, you can just see the pencil work there for you, so you can get the idea of what you're going to try and achieve. The next stage when we're developing these drawings is to insert our plant graphics. These will be the dominant aspect of the garden to make it look realistic, and we start off with a series of circles, as you can see on the right hand side here. Different sizes, so we're working from maybe a 2 meter wide shrub going down to 1 meter for some smaller shrubs, and they can also be larger herbaceous, and then you can go down to around 1/2 meter wide to 30 centimeter wide plants. So when you draw these, you can either use a circle template or you can use the compass, but obviously you're going to need to put the drawing board down flat, as if you can recall, the majority of you struggled with the compass about actually creating, making the whole thing slide off of the board. So you create a group or cluster of plants and you apply these graphics. You can find a lot of really good graphics if you use Pinterest, or equally just online you can find some good examples to look at. And what you'll do is you use the circles purely as your outline to work to, your template. If you can see on my drawings here, there is a step-by-step stage where I'm adding graphics. Some of the graphics come outside the circle, and that'll be something like a lavender. The grasses will grow from the inside, some of them slightly overhang. The shrubs we tend to keep within the circle, unless it has something like a buddleia, which has the spike flower coming out of it, you can create that effect. What you're trying to do is put some kind of characteristic. I'm not expecting a botanical drawing, it's about giving a characteristic, a texture that will show you that reality of what a plant could or could not look like in that environment. So here's some examples of some graphics you can find online, and the following will demonstrate methods of which you can create your own plant graphics, such as this hosta, and how you can recreate the same shape but rotate it and create a clump of plants effectively, and then it will move on to how you can make shrubs, and also some details if you wanted to make some specific tree that looks realistic for you and actually makes the garden design stand out. So there are some examples of graphics you can use, and as you can see on this drawing here, there are lots of opportunities where you can create textures, plants, anything that will make your garden feel realistic. If you need anything else, if any specific areas you would like to be given examples on, please don't hesitate to contact us and we will make a video to show you how.